Hey, welcome back to another exciting episode of Mr. Nelson's Chemistry Class explaining molar mass. We're going to start off with practice sheet number 2, and this time we're going to do problem number 4. So we have UF. Now, again, we look at that, and a lot of times U is for uranium. We'll find that on the periodic table, but it's lower down. Well, because it's in that transition metal, it is a type 2. So when we name a type 2, we have to use a Roman numeral, so I have to calculate out what a Roman numeral is. So we're going to give ourselves a little bit of space right here so we can write in our charges for each one. Well, we don't know what the charge for uranium is, but we do know what the charge for fluorine is. Now, does anybody remember what that is? Well, if you don't, we can do it 2 different ways. We can pull up our periodic table and see that it is in column 7A. So that means it has 7 valence electrons, which means it grabs 1 to make it 8, so it's going to be a -1. We could also scroll down. Oh, that's the page I wanted right there. All right, here to the monoatomic ones, and we look at fluorine as a -1. So there's fluorine, it's in 7A, it's a -1. Again, you can look at it either way. So we know that this is going to be a -1. So what is the charge of uranium? There's 2 ways to do this. The easy way is to say if the subscript for uranium equals the charge for the nonmetal, then the subscript for the nonmetal equals the charge for the, which it does. So let's see, we're going to put in a +6 right there. Okay. So we have that. But these don't cancel each other out, so what do? We crisscross. So this 6 comes over here, this 1 comes down there. That's good, that's right, but what's the other way to do it? Well, if we start off with -1, we multiply that by 6. We know that our charge for this right here has to be a -6, which means our charge for uranium has to be a +6. Okay, and if I made these smaller, that would work in there. Okay, so we can see that. So again, that's what it would be if we did it that way right there. So either way, the charge for uranium is a +6. Okay, so we got a +6 here. How do we get the charge? We divide by 1. That's how we get the +6. So we're going to call this one uranium, parentheses, 6. There's our 6. And then it's going to be fluorine, but we have to change the ending to I, so it'll be fluoride. So uranium 6 fluoride. That's how we go ahead and do the nomenclature for this. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this right here, and we're going to go back to whatever that is right there. So we got to put down what elements we have in our compound. So we have uranium. Okay. I'm going to get rid, oops. And we have fluorine. And I'm going to go ahead and just highlight those and get rid of that boldness right there. So how many uraniums do we have? Well, we only have 1. There's no subscripts. That means we have 1. Fluorines, we have a subscript of 6. So that means we have 6. Now we're going to multiply each one of those by its atomic weight or atomic mass. Okay. And so we got to find uranium and fluorine. So I don't know either. Well, I do know fluorine. But let's go ahead and look at the periodic table and figure that out. So we go back to this and go back to our periodic table. And we can see that we have fluorine right here is 19. Uranium is all the way down here, which is 238. Okay, so we're going to go back to our thing over here. Uranium is going to be 238. And fluorine was what? It was 19. There we go. So we're going to figure out what these equal. Since I only have 1 uranium, and I multiply by 238, that means that it equals 238. What about this? I have 6 fluorines at 19 each. Okay, and we could calculate that out in our head, most of us, right? So 6 times 19 equals 114. So we're going to put 114 in there. Now again, double check the way it is. So 6 times 19 equals 114. So now what do we do? Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add those together and figure our molar mass. So our molar mass is going to equal those two numbers added together. So we'll bring our calculator back, and it's going to be 238 plus 114 equals 352. So 352. And again, sometimes I might say the number wrong and look at it up there or write it wrong somewhere down there. So it's always good to double check all of these things. So we're going to double check 138 plus 114 equals 152. Now we're not done there. It's going to be grams. And grams of what? Uranium 6 fluoride. So we have to put that down. So we're going to go ahead and take that, and we're going to copy that, and we're going to paste it right there. So from this point on, all we have to do is highlight. Always have to have our answer highlighted when we're working with digital format. And so it's easy for this old eyes to see. So there we go. That's our molar mass for uranium 6 fluoride, which is 352 grams. Well, that's it for practice number 2, problem number 4. As always, go Mohawks. Nelson out.